Christmas tree in the park this year. That will be set up by December 5th. And I think is that everything?
I think that's pretty much it.
The only issue I see with that is I got 114 houses that are rentals. So the landlord's going to get that prize if that happens to be picked out? Or you want to
No.
contact me and I'll let you know if it's a rental or
Yeah,
not?
Yeah.
I would say contact Nick.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
work that out.
That's not fair to the.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I know.
It's not fair. Does anybody have any new business, unfinished business, or questions so Doug can get home to his cake?
Yeah, real
Mayor,
quick,
I'm sorry.
real quick, and then Doug can get home to his wife. Solicitor Wills, we held 2 meetings via Zoom in April and May in which residents were not given the ability to attend. Additionally, we have reached the capacity allowable for this space under COVID guidelines for the meetings in September and October, and residents were turned away. Are these meetings considered open under the Sunshine Act?
Yes, people can still submit questions if they wish, and again, we have limited capacity here, absolutely. The capacity is really at 25. These meetings are in fact obviously being filmed and uploaded onto the internet, but certainly anybody that has questions beforehand are welcome to submit those questions, certainly to the Borough Secretary, and those questions can be addressed here at a public meeting. But the short answer, yes, we are in fact in compliance with the Pennsylvania Sunshine Act as these meetings are presently being constituted.
And let me build off of that for one quick second. I know council's anxious to get out of here tonight. Last month, it was rumored that we turned down people because of their political persuasion. That is untrue. They weren't locked out because they were Republican, Democrat, or Independent. There was no lockout. When we reach the capacity of this room, including every one of us at this table, we are under governor's rules to watch our capacity. We take temperatures. You can come in the front door, get your temperature taken. We have hand sanitizer. This whole building has been sprayed, as I said before, 4 times. This council table and your chairs were sprayed today again. Masks are required. We have done everything possible, including spending tax dollars for the equipment that is recording us, so that if somebody cannot get in, they certainly, or don't want to come in, and I have put this out on an email, if a member of council feels uncomfortable coming into a meeting, they may submit their report, if you have one, to Mrs. Higgins, and you don't have to attend. If a member of the public wishes to submit a question to council, you most certainly can submit a question. The issue has been, Mrs. Guy, and I was not going to bring this up because Nick was right, things were moving quite smoothly.
And we're back.
Well, I disagree. The Sunshine Act,
Well, are you
Yeah.
going to disagree with our attorney?
yes, I am going to disagree with our attorney. Well, all right, let me read it to you. You guys can make your own decision. The Sunshine Act gives the public the right to comment on issues that are or may be before the board. Agencies must provide a reasonable opportunity for residents and/or taxpayers to comment on an issue before a situation takes place. From the advisory issued by the Office of Open Records on March 11, to the extent practicable, local government agencies must provide for public participation directly through teleconferencing or video conferencing system used to hold the meeting via email and/or via postal mail. Ideally, agencies will accommodate all 3 methods and possibly others. Note, practicable is a much stronger word than practical. Merriam-Webster defines practicable as capable of being put into practice or of being done or accomplished, feasible. In other words, unless it is actually impossible to do so, it must be done. This means that advance notice and public participation are essentially required. According to the Sunshine Act, all the meetings I referenced were not open. which is required. We violated the rights of any resident who was prevented from attending, all of whom would have standing in a case against both the council and against each person participating in these meetings. Nowhere in the Sunshine Act does it say that recording the meeting so that residents can watch it after the fact is an acceptable substitute for an open meeting. Residents have the right to attend the meeting in real time and comment on items being discussed. According to the Sunshine Act, Section 714, penalty, fines and costs. Any member of any agency who participates in a meeting with the intent and purpose by that member of violating this chapter commits a summary offense and shall, upon conviction, be sentenced to pay
Madam President,
for the
may I
first
excuse-
offense, the cost of prosecution plus a fine of at least $100, and in the discretion of the sentencing authority of not more than $1,000. For the second, I won't even read the second offense. If the court determines that an agency willfully or with wanton disregard violated a provision of this chapter in whole or in part, the court shall award the prevailing party reasonable attorney fees and costs of litigation or an appropriate portion of the fees and costs. If the court finds that the legal challenge was of a frivolous nature or was brought with no substantial justification, the court shall award the prevailing party reasonable attorney fees and costs of litigation or an appropriate portion of the fees and costs. It seems to me that, as our solicitor, you should have warned counsel that our 2 Zoom meetings, which excluded residents from commenting, violated the Sunshine Act. Additionally, when you observed that we had exceeded the capacity of this room in September and October and residents were prevented from attending, you should have advised council that we were violating the rights of our residents. I sent an email 9 days ago asking that we move our meetings to Zoom so that we could allow all residents who wish to participate to do so. At that time, you did not advise us to hold our meetings on Zoom in order to adhere with the law. Is it your job as our solicitor to know the law and advise council to follow the law in order to protect the rights of our residents and so the borough and council members avoid risk of litigation and fine?
Mrs. Guy, are you finished slandering our attorney of him not knowing what he's supposed to be doing?
I've spoken to other attorneys.
I'm sorry, I'm speaking this time. We've gone from trying to sue the borough over Facebook, now suing the borough over the Sunshine Act. We cannot hold it. You suggested the school. The school Wednesdays fumigate. I don't think
Zoom.
any of us
Zoom.
want to go, you said school in your email.
I did, but I said
And
Zoom.
the school is doing their disinfection and fumigating on Wednesdays, so that's out. Zoom meeting, I think right now, the governor has set the limits and quality of what we can or cannot do, and we're following the governor's guidelines. I have suggested numerous times, for those that are uncomfortable being here, please submit your report. You don't have a committee, so you don't have a report to submit. Another thing is, we've followed every protocol that we can possibly take to do this. People can send, and this is on tape, people can see it tomorrow. If you have a question and you cannot attend, as always has been, not a political slander statement, not a who likes who politically. If you have a governmental question, what are we doing with the budget? Mrs. Saunders projected a project which is excellent. If you have situations or questions or concerns, please submit them. Mrs. Higgins, as well as everybody on council, all our emails have been shared all over the world, so please submit it to the office at parksideborough.com. I don't know what else we can do to pacify you, Mrs.
Hold the meetings on Zoom like Brookhaven, like Upland, like Essington.
Actually,
like all of
Upland's
them.
closed down now, I understand. Would you like us to close down too?
No, but we could hold them on Zoom like every
Well,
other
I'll tell you
province.
what, Eric, would you prefer Zoom or would you prefer it live?
Live.
Me too.
So how are we adhering to the governor's suggestions?
What is your hard on about this?
Because we're supposed to be 6 feet apart. This room is ridiculous.
Why do you not
Why
sit?
are
There
you-
is a
why
chair
do you talk to me
here.
about a hard-on?
Because
How rude
apparently
are
you need one.
There is a chair here, Mrs. Guy. Would you like to, from now on, sit there? It's 6
Why
feet
don't you
away
go on
from
Zoom
us.
and we can watch you at home?
We have tried to accommodate everything we can do according to the governor's rules and regulations.
No, you haven't.
And so
And
you're
the
gonna sue the
persons-
borough
I'm
over
not
this.
gonna-
Nobody was stopped from coming in.
Today.
We were stopped because we were at capacity according to our
Judy, were you
emergency
able to attend
management.
last month?
No, I wasn't.
Matt, were you able to attend last month?
And why? Why?
The officer is right there that stopped it last month. Officer, would you explain the situation that happened last month? You were the one who did it.
Our marshal gave us direction that the building was at capacity and no one else was permitted into the building.
And the Sunshine Law says that people are supposed to be able to attend meetings.
And how would you like to go through that if we're at capacity in accordance with the
We do it
governor?
on Zoom.
You were supposed to do it when you were paid.
Yeah,
You never
you were
did.
supposed to do
No,
that,
I
I had to do it.
wasn't. No, I wasn't, not Zoom.
You can't even do trash.
Well, let me ask you something. Were you not protesting November 7th in Chester for the anti-gun rally? And I believe I saw the tape of you there without a mask and many others.
Oh, no, I had a mask on.
You were speaking, you did not have a mask
took
on.
it off to
And there were
speak.
many others in the crowd that did not have a
I
mask
took
on.
it off to speak like you have it off to
But
speak.
there were many people in the crowd that had no mask on.
Find me the
Madam
evidence.
President, please.
You're right, Mayor.
This
You're
council
right.
is being held before the public, and I'll be perfectly honest
You're right.
with you. You all are acting like children, and it's ridiculous.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's ridiculous. If
Thank you.
Councilwoman McGinnis Guy has an issue about how council meetings are brought up, then she has every right to voice that issue.
But
all right?
not
But
to
get in a
accuse,
getting in a shouting argument between councilmen at this table is ridiculous.
It is.
It makes the council, it diminishes their authority in the face of the people. So I'm asking you, please, stop arguing.
you're absolutely right, Mayor, and I apologize to the public. I truly apologize. We have tried to convey to the public every opportunity to attend a meeting, send a question. Contact a council member. Many people have contacted me personally. You have 7 council members. Contact them if you have a question. If you can't reach one of us, Mrs. Higgins is here. Contact her.
I just want to indicate, if I could,
Please.
back on or about April the 20th of 2020, Governor Wolf did in fact sign new legislation authorizing municipal bodies to meet by telecommunications device. That telecommunications device need not be a Zoom meeting. The legislation says to the extent possible, the Borough Council must allow for some level of public participation in the telecommunications meeting. That can be accomplished by either live citizen participation in the meeting or the submission of written comments prior to the meeting. Again, I want to confirm, the meetings that we have had thus far in 2020 are in fact in compliance with the law, with all due respect to the opinion of Ms. Guy, and she is certainly entitled to her opinion.
Again, public and council, I'd like to apologize for losing my temper. It's not normally my way of dealing with things. And unless council or any other member on this end of our professional staff has anything else, I'll require a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Vice President and Perry. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I apologize.